All right, go ahead and clap it up. All right, Shalom Israel. We're the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commandant General Yohana. This is ISUPK Austin Thursday Scripture Breakdown. All right. And since it's a Scripture Breakdown, tonight we're going to break down the 12 tribe chart. Okay. Because this 12 tribe chart, what we have to understand about this is that this 12 tribe chart lets us know exactly who we are, you know, and where we will be in certain times, right? So to understand that, we're going to have to break down some things and get it clear, cut, and dry. Okay. This 12 tribe chart, this is very important for so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know, just think of all these fake Israelites. Fake Israelites, they want to drop everything. They want to get rid of everything. But you know what they keep? They keep this 12 tribe chart. All right? They're going to keep that. Right? So tonight, that's what we're going to get into. That's what we're going to talk about. That's going to be the discussion. All right? So we can get it clear, cut, and dry, so you can know the 12 tribes and who they are, where they would be, what they would be doing. All right. Let me see. All right. So with the 12 tribe chart, right? Priest Ariah, he had the vision, right? And Priest Shishaiah, he brought out the archaeology. Okay. So not only do we have a vision from God, we have the archaeology to back it up, right? For all the naysayers, you know, because people are always trying to disprove everything that the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge does under the Commandant General Yohana. They just want to disprove it because they don't want the truth. This is the home of the truth, and this is the only place that you're going to get the truth, all right? So they come and they try to naysay and they try to debunk, but there is absolutely nothing they can do because everything is clear, cut, and dry. When you look at the records of our people, when you look at the history of our people, and then you start to piece these things together, everything is clear, everything is cut, everything is dry, right? So first scripture I'm gonna get Romans 11:1. Right? This is the book of Romans, chapter 11, verse 1. I say then, has God cast away his people? God forbid, for I am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. You see, what we got to understand about Paul, right? Paul knew exactly who he was, right? Paul knew who he was. He knew that he was an Israelite and he knew his tribe. So it's telling you, has God cast away his people? God forbid. The Most High, he didn't cast away the 12 tribes of Israel. We are still here on this earth today. They want to cast away the 12 tribes. No, they want to cast away 11 tribes and keep one. You know the one they want to keep? Judah. So our oppressors could call themselves Jews, right? That's why. Okay. But Paul is letting you know that he is an Israelite, right? Of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. We come through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's how we were brought forth, right? Verse 2. God has not cast away his people, which he foreknew. Wot he not what the scripture says of Elias, how he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying, okay? So these are things that are very important. God makes intercessions, right? You got to understand, he don't cast away his people. He made a covenant with us. He made a covenant with the 12 tribes of Israel. And since he made that covenant with us, we have to understand that there are certain things that we have to do. There are certain restrictions, right? So when Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, you see, there was a day he had called his son, and he would say it in the last days how it would be, for our nation, how it would be for each son, right? I'm gonna get Genesis 49:1. It says, and Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days, right? This is what we have to understand. We have to understand that these records of the Bible, they are our past, present, and future, right? They let us know where we were, where we are, and where we will be, okay? That's why we need our records. These records are so important. And that's why it's so wicked for us to want to give our records to another nation. Okay? Bear with me 1 second. Let me share a couple things. We shouldn't give our nation to anybody. We shouldn't give our love, our care, and our nation, our records over to other nations. And that's exactly what we do. We go, and because of Christianity, we just say, oh, it's for everybody. Oh, anybody can be a part of it. Well, you can't. Okay? This is for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. If you are not a part of that, then you are not a part of this. And the Lord, he lets you know that straight up. Right? Bear with me 1 second. Get this. How do you do this? Gotta be something. Oh, right here. Right there. Oh, never mind. It's just that. All right, Salaki. Okay? He said, these are going to befall you in the last days. But before then, let me get 2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 1. And it came to pass upon the 3rd day, I sat under an oak, and behold, there came a voice out of a bush against me, and said, Esdras, Esdras, right? Esdras, he is about to get a vision like Moses got the vision. But it said out of the bush, an angel's coming to him, right? Verse 2. And I said, here I am, Lord. And I stood upon my feet. Verse 3. Then he said unto me in the bush, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and I talked with him, and when my people served in Egypt. So Ezra is having this vision, all right? And he is speaking to the spirit of Moses right there and there, right? He's speaking unto them like that, right? Okay. Verse 3 again. Then said unto me in the bush, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses and talked with him when my people served in Egypt. Verse 4. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt and brought him up to the mount where I led him by me a long season. Verse 5. And I told him many wondrous things and showed him the secrets of times. At the end, commanding him, saying, you see, Ezra was shown by Moses, shown in this vision the ends of time. He was shown everything, right? He was shown every single thing, right? Verse 6. These words shall thou declare, and these shall you hide. Okay? So what this is explaining is that there were some things that were were able to come out, right? Just like with Moses. When Moses was up there with the Most High, when he was getting all of the law, all of the commandments, he got to see certain things. He got to see certain things that he was able to tell, and certain things that he wasn't. This is the same thing that's happening with Ezra. There were some things that were meant to declare, which means to tell the people, to reveal. Oh, and there was other things that were supposed to be hidden. Certain things that were only for his eyes. You ever say something, you say this is only for your ears. You ever show something, you say this is only for your eyes. It's not for everybody, right? That's what was going on here. There were certain things that were for him, and for him only, and certain things that were for all of us. So it says, these words thou shalt declare. These things, you are allowed to write it in this book, to write it in our records, to let everyone know. Oh, and these things, brother, you're going to have to hide. These things, they're not for everybody. These things are strictly for you. Okay? I pray you understand that. There's certain things you're going to be told that's strictly for you. It's not for everybody. Go get a counsel. It's not for everybody. It's for you. Right? Now let's get back to Genesis. All right? We're going to go Genesis 49 and 3. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. So the Reuben today is Reuben here is the Seminole Indians, right? The Seminole Indians are the tribe of Reuben. Okay. It says, my firstborn. Reuben was Jacob's firstborn son. He was the oldest, the elder of all of the brothers. So that's why he's addressing him, letting them know, like, you are my firstborn, my might, and my beginning of strength, the excellency of my dignity, and the excellency of my power, right? Reuben, the Seminole Indians, they were scattered through Florida, through the Everglades, but they carried themselves with royal dignity, and they refused to give in to the oppressor. And since they refused to get in and they were so mighty, what the oppressor had to do is what he always does. He tricks you. So Reuben, the Seminole Indians, they had to be tricked, right? They were tricked into signing treaties, but they were not like the other Native Indians. They weren't like the Cheyenne, right? Because they refused to own black slaves. Zakaria, if you can, get Genesis 49 and 4.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 4. Unstable as water.
They what?
Unstable as water.
Continue.
Thou shalt not excel.
Mm-hmm.
Because thou wentest up to thy father's bed. Then the father thou it. He went up to my couch.
You see, that's why he couldn't get the promise. He couldn't get the blessing, because he defiled his father's bed by doing a wicked, disgusting act. Who knows what that is? Go ahead.
What Reuben did with his father Jacob's rib, he slept with his father's rib.
You see that? Ooh-wee. You're gonna go and you're going to partake in pleasure with your father's rib and make her your own. Good night. Can't do that. That is not what we do in Israel. That is not acceptable. Okay. So you have to understand. Since he did that, he would be unstable as water, right? And since he's unstable as water, that means what? That means they had to travel. They weren't stationary. They were unstable. They were on the move, and they should not excel, right? They could have been. They could have been very great. Those were warriors, but because he committed this heinous act against his father, defiling his father's bed, that that was a wrap. So he is unstable as water. Okay. And they're unstable in water, and they have to travel, and it ain't stationary because of oppression, right? And we're gonna get this right here. Um, yeah, hey, I need you to come get this. We're gonna start about right here, down here at that last one of them last paragraphs. Because really, I need the next page, but we're gonna read that anyway. This is Black Indians, part of page 61 and page 62. Because from 1829 to 1837, Andrew Jackson was one of the key persons who subdued those Seminole Indians. Go ahead and read.
Oh God. All is lost and principally by the influence of the Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
Just wrote, he now saw that the two races are identified in interest and feelings and could not be separated. There was good reason to move Seminoles speedily to the frontier. Should the Indians remain in this territory, the Negroes among them will form a rallying point for runaway Negroes from the adjacent states.
So should what? Read that part one more time.
Should the Indians remain in this territory, the Negroes among them will form a rallying point for the runaway Negroes from the adjacent states.
They know we would come together and band up because they wasn't willing to take, you know, the so-called Northern King. I mean, the so-called Southern Kingdom as slaves. Continue reading.
Despite his understanding of the racial alliance that dominated the Seminole Nation, General Jessup could not conclude peace.
Mm-hmm.
He continued to engage in cold deceptions that violated the flag of truce.
Yeah.
And he seized women and children as hostages.
Continue reading.
His actions left peace in doubt. In June 1837, he admitted as much. We have had no former period in our history had to contend with so formidable an enemy.
You see that? So formidable enemy. They like, oh, these ones right here. This is not something that we want to deal with. Continue reading.
No Seminole proves false to his country.
No Seminole proves false until their country. Continue reading.
Nor had a single instance ever occurred of a first-rate warrior having surrendered.
You see, that's how the Seminole Indians were. That's why this 12 tribe chart is so important. So you know who you are, and you know why you have the spirit you have. It said no first-rate Seminole was willing to what? Surrender? That means they were willing to die. That's what I tell you, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man. Before you surrender unto your oppressor, just die. It's more honorable. Continue reading.
Between the general understanding and the deceptive militaristic approach lay a sea of gross strategic errors based on race. A U.S. officer and his trained men should be able to defeat a ragged band of ex-slaves, and their savage allies.
You see that? They just called us ex-slaves, and they called our brothers savage allies. They said their band should be able to just defeat us. But you know what? When we come together, there is nothing they can do to us. Okay? Continue reading.
No U.S. officer should have to negotiate with such inferiors.
Mm-hmm.
General Jessup faced a dilemma that could not lead to peace. He represented a country that thought Africans were spineless people fit for change. When captured, Such humans were not to be treated as gallant adversaries, but slave runaways. If he forgot these assumptions, his government in Washington and the slaveholders in his camp reminded him, as the most knowledgeable representative of a giant country, just as wanted that victory whites told him was his. But his policies, tactics, and diplomacy were destined to place it beyond his reach.
You see? Because these were warriors, right? Somebody give me Deuteronomy 33 and 6. These were some bad brothers. God.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 6. Let Reuben live and not die.
Yep.
And let not his men be few.
You see, those are warriors. It says, let Reuben live and not die. Go out there and multiply and make more Reubenites. Right? That's what we got to do. You have to live and not die. That's in Hebrew Academy. We understand because we don't have the right to die. You're not allowed to. Right? We have to live and not die. And let not his men be few. You know how you let your men not be few? By staying alive. Let me get 1 Chronicles 5 and 18. Who else in here? Hey, look over there and find lost tribes of the promised land in there.
In the book of 1 Chronicles, chapter 5 and verse 18. The sons of Reuben and the Gadites and half the tribe of Manasseh of valiant men able to bear buckler and sword, and to shoot with bow, and skillful in war, were 44,703 score.
That's how you live and not let die. Go to page 363 on there. Okay, you see that? That's how you live and not let die. Right? They were able to bear buckler and sword, right? And shoot the bow. Skillful warriors, right? Let's get Lost Tribes of the Promised Land, page 363. Go ahead.
Sluggy, if I could, sir. We were such skilled warriors, our brothers, the Reuben and Gad, that the militaries today still use their war tactics. Their war tactics today use guerrilla warfare.
He's absolutely right. That's what they have to do. You know, they learned every goddamn thing from us.
Right.
You know? So they like, oh, we went to war with them. We had guns, we had cannons. We had all these things. They came out here with spiritual weapons. Something that you have to know how to use. You see a gun, I can just point a gun at you and pull the trigger. But if I got a sword, I have to know how to use it. If I have a bow, I have to know how to use it. If I have an axe or a tomahawk, I have to know how to use it. Go ahead, warrior.
This is the book of Lost Tribes and Promised Lands.
Page 363.
Page 363. 2.5 years before, he told them, while traveling in the wild mountains of Quito, he had heard some of his Indian guides remark that the natives of that country deserved all the suffering they had undergone at the hands of the Spaniards.
You see, they said they deserved all that they went under the Spaniards. You see, and that's what's so wicked. They came to this lands, and we love the Spaniard. Like when you are a so-called Latino, right? That's what you hold on to. That's what you reverence. You reverence that Spaniard. You're like, oh, I got Spaniard blood. It makes you so proud. What the hell are you proud to have? Why would you be proud to be your enemy? Okay? That's what we don't understand. We don't understand that is our damn enemy. Okay? We are not Spanish. Continue reading.
When he asked them to explain why they thought such a thing, they had replied mysteriously that it was because we so badly treated a holy people.
They what?
A holy people.
Who? A regular people.
A holy people.
Savages.
A holy people.
Slaves.
A holy people.
That's what we are, a holy people who have been mistreated all over this earth. Continue reading.
A holy people, the greatest in the world.
The who?
The greatest in the world.
I told you that. I believe you know that from Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Right.
I believe you know how great you are. Continue reading.
Nothing more had been offered by them on this point. But later in the same conversation, Francisco, one of the Indian guides, had declared that his countrymen will be avenged upon the Spaniards in time anyway, by means of a people now hidden. The two references apparently were to the same people, but Montesinos, not seeing their full meaning in that moment, had put the whole matter out of their mind for the time being.
Mm-hmm.
Upon his return to Cartagena, the Judaizing Montesinos had found himself accused by the Inquisition and put in prison.
Yep.
Praying for salvation in his cell one day, he was reciting what was by then a standard formula among New World Moranos. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
The new world what?
Among New World Moranos.
You know, that's people of colors.
Right.
How you say it the right way? Tamaki, we speak in Spanish.
What?
How you say that the right? Morano and the Negro and the Tamaki know all the colors of Spanish. Go ahead, continue reading. As you see, you know that. Continue reading.
Among New World Moranos. Blessed be the name of the Lord, who has not made an idolater, a barbarian, a Negro, an Indian. When suddenly he stopped those Indians, he told himself, they are Hebrews.
They are what?
They are Hebrews.
We on page 64, huh?
Oh, God.
Yeah. I knew we made it to. Let them know when we turn the page too, because they need to go find this. Because it said we are Hebrews. They came over here because they followed that apocrypha, and they knew where to come. They knew where we were, right? They knew how to get over here, but they knew that there was Hebrews over here, Israelites, part of the 12 tribes of Israel. Continue reading.
So you want me to read all right down?
Yeah, just read. Yeah, you can just read them highlighted parts, because is it highlighted on page 365 too? I might just have you read down. This might just be a 2-3 part class, you know? Yeah, just
whole page.
On that page you can read the highlight. Yeah, just read the whole page. Yeah.
Pondering this thought incredulously and yet with growing conviction, he resolved that if he ever was released, he would seek out the Indian Francisco and try to learn the truth.
Damn. So he was locked up, right? By his people, right? He said if he could come and seek out, he want to come learn the truth. See what this is about. Continue reading.
Montesino's story, unclear as to the circumstances of his incarceration, is equally unclear as to those of his release.
Mm-hmm.
But released he was, and he immediately went to Francisco, revealing himself as a Jew.
As a what?
As a Jew.
As a who?
As a Jew.
Oh, was he white?
I
don't believe he was white. I believe this is a cut. Okay. I believe that everybody in the world don't know what the hell they're talking about in the Israelite school of UPK does. Continue reading.
Montesinos proclaimed his conviction that Francisco's hidden people were of the same race as he. Would Francisco lead him to them? The two men were soon back in the rugged mountains in which Francisco had made his initial revelation.
Mm-hmm.
Marching relentlessly for a week before they finally came to a halt. It was a Saturday. Montezinos makes a point of telling us, and they had come to a river larger than a Darrow. Are there echoes of the Sambutan in all of this? Here, Francisco announced, is where your brothers will be seen. Waving a banner high in the air, the Indian guide soon was greeted by a puff of smoke far beyond the other bank of the river in response to his signal. The two men waited. Eventually, a canoe appeared, bearing 3 men and a woman.
You see, hold on. That's how we used to do. We used to use smoke signals. Like if you over there, I'm over here, and you want to know, you know what I mean? You want to send that signal. I can send a smoke signal, and there's things I could do with the smoke to signal certain things. I could signal if it's a safe passage. I could signal if it's a dangerous. I could do all of these things through smoke. Like we always use signs, symbols, and things like that, and signals. So that's what's going on. That's what they're explaining. Go ahead.
Kanana one come, all of them Indians, to the place where Francisco and Montesinos were standing at the water's edge. The woman got off and spoke to Francisco in an Indian tongue that Montesinos could not understand, although he could perceive that he was being identified in the conversation. She then turned to her male companions to explain the situation. Upon hearing her words, they rose, went over to Montesinos, and to his utter astonishment said, Shema, yes.
They said what?
Shema, yes, Royel, Adonai, Elohenu, Adonai Ahad.
That kind of sound like what? That sounds like Hebrew. That's what they spoke. And you think that it was just some dirty savages because your oppressor taught you that in school. Right. How the hell they the savages? They over here respecting every goddamn thing. And they come, oppressor comes over and tries to, and just comes and destroys them. Destroys them, take all their sacred land, and give them some little reservation. They over here speaking the Hebrew.
Right.
This is why I tell y'all that y'all don't know a goddamn thing. Y'all want to come against the Israelite School of UPK, and the proof is in the pudding. These are the records of the people that y'all love and agree with. Go ahead, Officer Damakia.
Hey, Sluggy, that reminds me of the debate that Captain Cesaria had last night when there was a Native Indian brother that thought he knew 10 generations past of what he thought. Then when Captain Cesaria brought this out, he was on Shema.
Yeah. He was on what?
He was on Shema.
And what that word say there? Go back to that.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one.
No, I want to go back to the Shema.
Shema.
Yeah.
Shema. Yes, Royel. Adonai.
Me. Damn.
Elohenu. Adonai Ahad.
This is how we talk. This is how we used to speak, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Before you let that devil came through and poisoned your mind and stole your records and left you here just so weak and destroyed. Go ahead.
It's like I said, when they got that out of us, that's when they started making us assimilate to their culture.
Exactly.
That's when they did it.
Because that's all that to rebuild you, to rebuild anything. What do you got to do first to it? Break it down. You break down to rebuild. Go ahead, officer.
It's like, sir, if I could, Armor One can't speak, and I have brought out the Christopher Columbus journals, and he said that the people of the land could be easily persuaded, or their land could be easily conquered, and that they could be easily persuaded into following Christianity.
Yeah, they did. And he also said with 50 men and their weapons, he could take them all out. Do you see how wicked? That's how they think. They're like, okay, you're going to be peaceful. Since they're so peaceful, since they just so in tune with the land, we can go over there with 50 men and our guns, and we can destroy a nation. And that's all they're about. They're only about conquering and destroying your nation. That's their whole goal. To let you know, to try to make you know that you're not a special people. To try to take you and strip you away from your God. Well, we are not going to let that happen. Because here in the Israelite school of UPK, we're going to stand. We're going to stand as warriors.
That's right.
You continue reading that.
You
You on page 65 yet?
Lie, so we
Yeah.
towards the bottom of 65.
You in the highlights?
Mhm.
Okay.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Elohim Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God. The Lord is one. They have recited in Hebrew.
The Lord is one they have recited in Hebrew. Continue.
The fundamental credo of Judaism. A brief conversation then ensued in their common ancestral tongue. According to Montezinos, whose fluency in it is almost as perplexing to the reader of his narrative as is that of his three mysterious new companions. They told him that they were
Actually, you could just end that there because it was just such a cut. I don't want people to even think about anything else except that the people y'all love, the oppressors, said we spoke Hebrew. Go ahead. Oh, Slovakia. Oh, yeah.
They told him that they were themselves of the tribe of Reuben.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Man, how can I forget about that? That's why I had you pull it. They said they were the tribe of Reuben. They knew they were Israelites. Continue.
And that the tribe of Joseph lived on an island nearby.
The tribe of who?
The tribe of Joseph.
All right, now let me break some of this down. All right, so from 1528 to 1533, the Spanish explorers, southern U.S., the Montesinos, right, which we found on page 64, they says that we were Hebrews, that the Seminole Indians spoke Hebrew, right? The Seminole Indians spoke Hebrew, and that's what the oppressor who come to realize, right? It says, and also it was 3 Indians in a canoe that told them they were from the tribe of Reuben. That's why it's important for everybody to get these books, get these records, get an understanding, right? They said Joseph was at a nearby island, the Cubans and the Puerto Ricans, right? They said you were close. You know how close Florida is, where the Seminole Indians is to Cuba and Puerto Rico. It's very close, right? Joseph is the father of who? Ephraim and Manasseh. That's very close, right? And in Florida, everything they found on their tablets, it was just true, right? Go ahead.
It was actually a video, I don't know if you saw it, but it was a video that Captain I posted. And there was this devil, he was in Puerto Rico, right? And he went to this cave, it was an ancient cave, and he found ancient Hebrew writings
Yes.
on the wall.
I mean, many. It was a whole bunch. It wasn't just a little bit. Go ahead.
Oh, if I could, they just did a new research and an interview in Puerto Rico where they found Hebrew writings.
All that in the caves.
Yeah, they found them off the ocean.
Yeah.
In the ocean.
It's crazy because they found them where my family stems from. That's where they found them. When I go back, when I go and visit, on my TTs and my TOs, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to go to those caves. I'm gonna go find it, and I'm gonna take a picture as a man of Ephraim. Okay, and I'm gonna take a picture looking like a One West warrior to let you know we are still here. Go ahead, warrior.
And the ones that were found in the cave was the Assyrian.
Mm-hmm.
We know that the northern kingdom was enslaved in captivity by the Assyrians.
By the who?
Assyrians.
And then after that, what do?
Bounce.
We came over here, go to a land that is not yet occupied.
Come on.
And y'all think y'all know something. You think you know something because some oppressor told you. You don't know a goddamn thing. All right, let me get Genesis 49:5.
the book of Genesis, chapter 49, and verse 5. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation.
It says Simeon and Levi are brothers. The so-called Dominicans and the so-called Haitians.
Right.
They are brothers. Don't even know it. They live on that land of Hispaniola and don't even know it. And instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. The so-called Dominicans and Haitians share the island of Hispaniola. Brothers, right? Brothers on one island who can't stand each other. And those instruments of cruelty that are in their habitation is what?
Right.
Hold on. All right, go ahead.
Voodoo.
And what else? The voodoo is who? For who? Who does the voodoo? The Haitians. And what do the Dominicans do? The Santa Maria. Oh, they do that. They got the same demon, just call it a different thing. Okay? That's what they over there practicing. Voodoo. And that's Santa Maria. Ooh wee. Continue reading the scripture.
Come, verse 6. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, unto their assembly. Mine honor, be not thou united.
Mm-hmm.
For in their anger they slew a man, and in their self will they dig down a wall.
You see, they slew him and they dig down the wall because they took vengeance for their sister. And when they took that vengeance, they eliminated a whole Hamite tribe, right?
Come.
And that's why I said they're going to be on the island with these instruments of cruelty in their habitation. Now they're full of witchcraft, they're full of magic, and not knowing the power of God. Continue reading.
Come. Verse 7. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob and scatter them in Israel.
You see, because they took out the whole African tribe, they caused because their anger was so fierce, right? And then who got the black Indians? Go to page 33. Find me where it tells you how they slaughter their slave master, Diego Columbus, on Christmas Day. Celebrate that on the 25th. While we're celebrating Hanukkah, while we're holding on ancient feast days. You think about that and put that in your goddamn chest. Go ahead.
This is an excerpt from the book Black Indians. In 1522, Europeans and the Americans first learned that slavery did not easily lead to enormous wealth. On Christmas Day, African and Indian slaves on a plantation owned by Diego.
And when hold on, Sluggy, and let me clarify something. When they say an African, they're not saying real Africans. It wasn't real Hamites. It was it's the Southern Kingdom. Okay, continue reading.
Okay. On Christmas Day, African and Indian slaves on a plantation owned by Diego Columbus rose and unalived their masters.
You see, people always tell me, "Oh, you only just hate the white man. You only just the white man, the white man, the white man." Well, this Spaniard is a white man, which you don't understand. He is a devil. That's why it's the white man, and the African, and the Asian, and the every goddamn thing. If you don't know, there's any more on that, Zakaria?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Overseers.
Oh, no, read that again. I just need to hear it one more time. It was so glorious.
On Christmas Day.
On what?
Christmas Day.
We wish you did. This is a Merry Christmas that the Israelite School of UPK wishes you. Go ahead.
African and Indian slaves on a plantation owned by Diego Columbus.
Yep.
Rose and unalived their masters and
wow.
overseers.
Thank God. That's what we need. Continue.
Okay. Nearby Native Americans joined the rebels.
They did what?
Join the rebels.
How the hell are we rebels trying to survive? Continue.
The beautiful island off of like the beautiful island of Hispaniola shook with the first recorded slave rebellion in the New World.
Mm, that's heavy. Ooh, I don't even need no more on that. Go ahead, Officer Tamakia.
I don't want to get too much off topic, but that's heavy. Exactly what this says, because as we know, Christianity came from somewhere else besides the Bible.
Right.
And even saying that we are Africans, Christianity came from Africa too.
Right.
So it's like amongst the Africans and the Europeans, both of them have been oppressing us with this religion that has been condemning us into ideology and their philosophies.
Right.
And when these native Indians and brothers came together and rebelled against it, it was so beautiful and glorious.
That's right.
It was like a similarity to what Nat Turner was going through and what Harriet Tubman seen.
Exactly.
Slide me, sir, if I could.
Go ahead.
This next verse, this next little paragraph as well, also in correlate we were talking about when Simeon and Levi avenged their sisters Saul.
Go ahead and get it.
It says the conspiracy has spread across the sprawling sugar plantations in the weeks before Christmas. Patiently, the plotters waited until Christmas Day, when the planters and their families will be loaded with food.
They'll be what?
Loaded with food.
Loaded with food. You know how much they eat. They living good off the fat of your back. So they are bloated with food. Hey, they got the itis. Continue reading.
Soaked with liquor.
Yo, and they had to drink. They had to drink. They was gonna drink and sleep with their sister. Go ahead.
And too weak or sleepy to offer much resistance.
They were too what?
Or too weak or sleepy.
You was just too tired, and you was just too full. Continue.
To offer much resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Then they struck, plunging into the night to kill whites and find their freedom.
That's what you have to do. That's what we had to do. We had to unalive them so we could find our freedom. Any more?
Nah, so slack. I fucked that out because it just reminded me of what Simeon Levi said. You can we'll become one people with that Hamite tribe, and they said as long as you among every male is circumcised.
Yep.
And when they agreed to it, every male was circumcised. They fell upon the city. They took it.
Yep. And that's it. That's exactly what happened. Give both of them brothers a hand for. Yeah, and see, this is the whole thing. They took a whole African tribe because their anger was so fierce, right? And then Christopher Columbus and the partition of Jews in the Spanish and Portuguese discoveries by Dr. Meyer Kaiserling. On page 95 through 98, it'll talk about how the Dominicans and the Cubans are Israelites. And on 98, it says that Cuba and Haiti are actually Hebrew words, right? And on page 99, it says a sacrifice to the first fruits, which is a high holy day that we find in Leviticus 23, verses 9 through 14. And we still observe that today in the Israelite school of UPK. All right, I need Deuteronomy 33 and 8. Yeah, this time we're going to space this class out.
28 and 38.
Nope. 33 and 8.
Come on.
Most High in Christ.
The book of
Hey, a lot of brothers like to do this in the school. We got a brother who is not from the tribe of Levi, and this is all he do is shake goddamn dice all goddamn night and day. I think he does it in his sleep. I think he dreams about winning dice games all goddamn day.
Come. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
And of Levi, he said, let thy Thummim and thy Urim.
All right, that Thummim and that Urim, those are dice. We use dice to cast lots to make decisions. Continue reading.
Come on, Khan, be with the Holy One,
Mm-hmm.
whom thou didst prove as Messiah, and with whom thou didst strive at the waters of Meribah.
Yep, because we those dice and we cast those lots. Give me Acts 1 and 26. Just so I can show you again. Yeah, Acts 1 and 26. Yeah, we're gonna take these lessons slow. Last time I did this whole chart in one class. We're not gonna do this time. This time we're gonna take our time. We're gonna break it down and we're gonna give people the understanding. Acts 1 and 26.
Come on, Khan. It's the book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 26. And they gave forth their lots, and the lot fell upon Mattathias.
Mm-hmm.
He was numbered with the 11 apostles.
You see, so after what happened with Judas, right? They needed another apostle to keep the 12, you know? So how they picked it to pick between these brothers, they cast lots, they rolled the dice, and the number it fell on Mattathias. So since it fell on him, he was numbered with the 11 apostles, made the 12th. All right. Now let's go back to Deuteronomy 33 and let's get verse 9.
Come on, Khan. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 9. Who said unto his father and to his mother, I have not seen him, neither did he acknowledge his brethren, nor knew his own children, for they have observed thy word and kept thy covenant.
You see, yeah, because Levi, he didn't give a damn. He didn't want to acknowledge his brother. He just stuck to his own goddamn self, right? Sure. All right, so let me get Exodus 32 and 26.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 32, and verse 26. Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me, and all the sons of Levi gather themselves together unto him.
You see, Levi is the priesthood. They come from Moses and Aaron. Continue reading.
Come on, verse 27. And he said unto them, thus saith the Lord, God of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in out from gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother.
And do what?
And slay every man his brother.
Love every man.
Come on. And every man his companion.
Good.
And every man his neighbor.
Continue reading.
Come on, verse 28. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moses. And there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men.
Continue reading.
Come on, verse 29. For Moses has said, consecrate yourselves today to the Lord, even every man upon his son and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day.
That's what happened. And that phone don't have a button on the side that you could just silence it like an iPhone.
It's like it's family of it.
No, you two, I already know it. I know it's fair. I just, no sweat. Deuteronomy 33 and 10.
Come on. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 10. They shall teach Jacob thy judgment.
They shall what?
They shall teach Jacob thy judgment, and Israel thy law.
Yep.
They shall put incense before thee,
Yep.
and hold burnt sacrifice upon thine altar.
Didn't Moses go up there and get the whole law?
Come on.
Christians think he was up there 40 days and 40 nights writing down 10 things. That's what they believe. Go ahead.
And he learned about all the history, right?
He learned about everything, like I brought out before in the second Ezra, the 14th chapter,
Right.
when Ezra got the vision and he got to talk with Moses, and everything was disclosed to him. And there were certain things that he could declare, and there were certain things that he had to hide.
Right.
But he got everything, He got the understanding of everything, but he just couldn't say everything. Okay? Just like with us. There's certain things that we're allowed to disclose and certain things that we're not.
Right.
Okay. So that's what he was doing. And that's what the Levites were for. They were the priests. So that's where we learned all of our law, everything we were supposed to do. Let me get Malachi 2:1.
It's the book of Malachi, chapter 2 and verse 1. And now, O ye priests, this commandment is for you. Verse 2. If ye will not hear, and if ye will not lay it to heart, to give glory unto my name, saith the Lord of hosts, I will even send a curse upon you, and I will curse your blessings. Yeah, I have cursed them already, because ye do not lay it to heart.
Continue reading.
Come on, verse 3. Behold, I will corrupt your seed.
No, I don't need it. Yeah, well, yeah, go ahead and just read that anyway.
Come on, and spread dung upon your faces, even the dung of your solemn feast, and one shall take you away with it.
You see, we stopped being the priest. We started witchcraft, and now what do? We celebrate Christmas. They're gonna go and celebrate Christmas. Go ahead.
I just seen a post. Dude posted a picture of him with $300 with the CVS in the background or something, like a blood bank in the background. This guy sold his plasma just to be able to buy Christmas presents for his children. $300.
Yeah. This Edomite woman, she came up to me, I believe yesterday, and she said, "I know you don't celebrate Christmas." She's like, "But I'm stressed out. I don't know how I'm gonna give my kids Christmas presents." They are young. You think they really understand any goddamn thing about Christmas? You over there teaching them that because those are your customs. I said, I ain't bought a Christmas present in about 10 years, so I don't give a damn. I said, I'm good. But they know who I am at the slave.
Right.
I come in there with this on.
Right.
Yeah. I come in there with this. I come in there with all my UPK. My rib comes in there with all her One West stuff, all the Dawadas, all the shields, all the everything. And they know we don't celebrate a goddamn thing. And they know that our family is not stressed out.
Right.
Because I don't have to worry. If I had to buy a PlayStation and an Xbox, I had a brother. He said, "Oh, I had to get the digital Xbox because it's cheaper." I said, "What the hell is that?" I don't even know what that means.
Right.
I guess no games could go in there. You got to download all the games. I do that anyway.
Right.
But just the stress. This is what's so wicked about Christmas. One of our sisters are going to go sell their body so their kids can have a good Christmas.
Right.
One of our brothers is going to go rob their brother so their kids can have a good Christmas, when we shouldn't be celebrating it anyway. Right? And that's what our brothers did right there. They stopped being the priests. They started celebrating Christmas because they wanted to be like other nations. They wanted to be like the Edomites, like the Africans, Remember Haiti? Haiti tried to join the African Union. Right. Y'all remember that? About 2015, 2016. They tried to join them. But Africa knew that they weren't Africans, that they were Israelites. And they also told Haiti, you don't have enough money. And all these years later, they still not letting them in, right? Let me, where was we at? Drop down to verse 8.
Come on. Verse 8. But ye are departed out of the way. Ye have caused many to stumble at the law. Ye have corrupted the covenant of Levi, saith the Lord of hosts.
You see, since we have stumbled and departed at the law, that corrupts the covenant of Levi, right? They don't do the work of the law no more. What work do? They do that vain indignations. They vain imaginations. That's the work that they do now. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 33 and 11.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, and verse 11. Bless Lord his substance, and accept the work of his hands. Smite through the loins of them that rise against him, and of them that hate him, that they rise not again.
You see, showing people would rise against Haiti, right? Showing them future prophecy, like who? Like the French.
Right.
And the French come through there and tear that up. And I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. I don't know if y'all know this, but the French still get paid today to not have the slaves. That they're getting paid to not have slaves. Okay? Why you going to a slavery every day? If they got that much money, why don't they just give it to us so we don't have to slave?
Right.
They are paying them to not have slaves. Let's go to Genesis 49 and 8. Let's get Judah.
Come on. The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
Yep.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
You see, because Judah, the so-called blacks, the so-called African Americans, they're the ones who's going to bring forth the truth. You know, they're going to spearhead the truth into the rest of the tribes. Okay, somebody give me Zechariah 12 and 7. Azayala, you get that for me so he can stay where he's at. Zechariah 12 and 7.
This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 12 and verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord also shall save the tents of Judah first,
Yep.
that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
You see? Now let's go back to Genesis 49 and 9.
Come on, verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp.
Mm-hmm.
From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up?
You see? It says Judah is a lion's whelp. So like, sir, you went to class? Hey, it said Judah is a lion whelp from the prey, right? Judah is a lion's whelp. As prey, it's easy for Judah to stray away. Judah strays away from the truth through politics, through Christianity, through Egyptology, through philosophies, because they are soft. As a going after revolution, Judah is soft. That's why they march instead of fight. That's why we do a lot of marching, we do a lot of praying, we do a lot of crying, right? Continue reading.
Come on, verse 10. The scepter shall not depart from Judah,
Mm-hmm.
nor a lawgiver from between his feet until Shiloh come.
What does that mean? Means that the scepter shall not depart from Judah.
Oh, yeah. That was a prophecy for Yahweh.
Yes, because he is a scepter, right?
Come on.
Right. He has this, so it's not going to depart.
Right.
Right? It's not going to depart from him. He's going to always have it. Let's get Joel 3 and 1.
Yeah. It's the book of Joel, chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, in those days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat.
See, this is going to be that great war. This is that great war that Christians think they're going to miss because they think they're going to float up in the sky and kiss Christ in the mouth as they meet him. Every Christian think they're going to kiss Christ in the mouth like you're his baby.
Right.
Float into the sky. Everything's going to be so great and grand. Continue reading.
Come on, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel.
See, he's going to plead for who?
For my heritage, Israel.
That's what it says. Not for every damn body. Continue reading.
Khan, whom they have scattered among the nations, and parted my land.
See, they parted the land of Israel. They parted that land of Israel, and they scattered us all over the earth. Continue reading.
Come on.
Go ahead.
It's like it, sir. This also be a precept for scattered Israelites being the Gentiles.
Let me get clarification. Go ahead.
If I could, ask the question one more.
Could this be a precept for Israelites or the Gentiles who were scattered to all the different nations?
So to bring it to like more practical knowledge, you would have to identify exactly who you're talking to.
Right.
So if you say Native Americans, it's Gentile.
Right.
If you say Cubans, that's Gentile. And you gotta bring it all the way home. Right. You know what I'm saying? So a Christian to be able to understand where you're coming from.
Right.
But I don't know if but
yeah, come on.
Yeah, and some of the people that are scattered still know who they are.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
So that's why I probably never heard this reference as that. Continue reading.
Come on. Verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot.
No.
And so they grow for wine that they may drink.
Good night.
They might drink.
Continue reading.
Come on. Verse 4. Yeah, and what have ye to done with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Verse 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried.
What does that mean? They've taken their silver and their gold. Go ahead.
His treasure.
And who was his treasure?
The Israelites.
Continue reading. But why is it always referencing to silver and gold? Jew, no Greek. Just throw that.
The northern and southern kingdom.
Continue reading.
Come on. Verse 6. The second half of verse 5. And have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. Verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that you might remove them far from their border.
See, this is what you can use right there as a cut.
Right.
For neither Jew nor Greek. Right?
Come on.
Because see, we have been carried away to those captivities, right? Let me get Deuteronomy 28 and 68. We don't have nature knows no color line here. We might not.
28 and 68. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
See, this is another thing of regeneration, reincarnation. Because it said the Lord will bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
Right.
All those people, only two people made it into the promised land, Caleb and Joshua. Continue reading.
Come on. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, and bring you into Egypt again by ships. Egypt means the house of bondage.
Right. We
were brought here by ships. Right? And then when it says, wherefore I spake of thee, that thou shalt see it no more.
Right.
Right? Continue. Meaning we won't see our land. Continue.
Come on. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
That's what happened to us. Somebody could have bought out our slavery. You could be a free man, but nobody was doing that. We were bondmen and we were bondwomen. Go ahead.
It's like this also works for the Native Americans as well, because they came over here on ships too. But even when the Europeans came over there, they brought them on ships back to wherever they took them to.
Yeah, we were paraded up to Spain.
Right.
You know, like when I broke down the Thanksgiving, you see how Squanto was paraded up to Spain, right?
Come on.
That's how it was. All right, give me Jeremiah 14:2.
Come on. And it's like I said, he's still holding Zechariah. But here,
Yeah, he already read that. Yeah, I had you hold something and I had him.
Jeremiah 14:2.
Yeah, and call one of them in here because I need them for this.
Come on. The book of Jeremiah,
Get
chapter
it.
14 and verse 2. Judah mourning.
Judah what?
Judah mourning.
Judah mourning. Judah is in mourning. We mourn in this place. This is our hell. Continue reading.
Come on. In the gates thereof, language.
In those gates thereof, language. Our gates is our leadership. And our leadership languishes. They fail us. They do not protect us. Continue reading.
Come on. They are black unto the ground.
They are what?
They are black unto the ground.
They are white.
They are black unto the ground.
They are black unto the ground. That's what we are. Continue. Hey, black being the color and being the condition. Continue reading.
Come on. And the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
And that cry of Jerusalem, it has gone up. And see, when you read, I don't know if we have Nature Knows No Color line here by J.R. Rogers, but on page 123, it'll tell you how dark the Jews are too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though we light too a little, but we get dark. Oh yeah, give me that. You pull that page 123. Give me Babylon the Timbuktu, page 84.
Come on, Khan. This is the book of Babylon and Timbuktu, page 84. Simple above the altar to the statue, the people brought. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General
Vespucius, right?
Like,
It ain't Vespucius. What is it? It ain't Vespucius.
Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
You see, this is what people don't understand. This is what people don't understand because they say, "Oh well, y'all were taken from Africa. Y'all are Africans. You Negroes is Africans, and y'all were taken from the land of Africa." Continue reading.
Titus put an end to the Jewish state.
So they put an end to that Jewish state. Put an end to us, talking about conquering us. Continue.
With great slaughter.
With what?
Great slaughter.
So they conquer you with love.
Great slaughter.
With peace.
With great slaughter.
See, they get mad at you for talking about the white man, but the white man has conquered you with great slaughter all through history.
Right.
And you're supposed to love him. That's why Christianity makes you weak and effeminate. Right? Every Christian is an effeminate man.
Right.
Because they believe they should love everybody. They believe that they should forget about their past. Continue reading.
During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa.
1 million what?
Jews fled into Africa.
1 million Jews. We tell you the Jews are the so-called blacks, right? Y'all think it was 1 million white people fleeing into Africa?
Right.
Really? You'll be able to tell. Oh, so they're the Jews and the South Africans, or what? That's how they got there?
Right.
Good night. Continue reading.
That over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
No, they were full of Africans.
Black Jewish slaves.
This is how you cut and shut the hell down any ignorant bastard who is coming against you in the school. Go ahead, warrior.
Right. Come on, sir. And to caveat that, last night in the debate that Captain Tazaria and Captain Akai had, they were proving that, Christianity was spreading to our people, as, to hide our identity.
Yeah.
And I was reading in the Roman Empire, the empire of the Edomite, that after they destroyed our temple and we fled into Africa, they were the first nation to push Christianity on the whole entire world.
Exactly. And you know what they use to conquer. They use Christianity, because you know what I was taught growing up. I was taught that I was a jungle bunny in Africa,
Right.
and they captured me and brought me here to America as a slave to teach me Jesus Christ. So I used to have to appreciate slavery, because without slavery, I wouldn't have known Christ.
Right.
That's what they teach you and make you believe. That's how they push their doctrine. That's how they're able to kill, steal, and destroy because of that. There's any more on that? But it told you these markets were full of Jewish slaves. So how are the Jews white if the slave trade market was full of Jewish slaves? That is a contradiction. The white man contradicts every goddamn thing he says. But we're so dumb and so gullible, and so God loves everybody. And we look at Caesar Borgia like he is God and Christ himself. That's why we respect and worship them. When it says right here in history that the slave markets were full of Jewish slaves, so why the hell is it niggas over here? Why did a bunch of white boys enslaved over here? Good night. Any more on that?
No, sir.
All right, now give me the other book, and Trooper, give me Luke 21 and 20. Go ahead, Officer Zakaria. Page 123.
This is an excerpt from Nation Knows No Color Line.
By J.R. Rogers.
J.R. Rogers, page
Mhm.
123. Wake says an interesting gradation of all shades down to the black is exhibited by the Jews, especially dark, with the Jews of Spain and Portugal. The Portuguese Jews were very dark, said Pritchard. The Duchess de Ombrantes, wife of Napoleon's ambassador to Portugal, said that the Jew, the Negro, and the Portuguese could be seen in a single person. So dark were the Jews, especially of Portugal and southern Spain, that many whites thought all Jews were black or dark.
Hold on. So why is Kanye being crucified for saying the Jews are black also? The devil says it. You just can't say it. Go ahead.
So dark were the Jews, especially of Portugal and southern Spain, that many whites thought that all Jews were black or dark. This belief, said Barber, shows what it most people are in. Since he says the German Jews, as for example, those of Prague, are as white as most of those German countries.
Yeah, you know why? Because those are Ottoman Turks who just kept migrating over and over and over. That's why Hitler was tired of their ass. That's why he was tired of it.
Many of the Jews who were banished from Portugal by John II.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Most High in Christ. Now I just need Luke 21 and 20. We're gonna get 21, 20, 21, and 21, and then we're gonna end this, and I'm gonna continue it next week.
Come on, Khan.
Yeah, we're gonna take this one slow. We ain't gonna rush through this one.
Come on, Khan.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is not.
You see, when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, right? You're going to know that desolation is not, that the end is not.
Right.
That's how we knew, like 70 AD, but that for a million of us, we knew. Go ahead.
Come on, verse 21. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not in the countries enter therein.
You see, this is showing you how we always had to flee. This ain't talking about our armies. It's talking about their armies.
Right.
And their armies, we have to flee from them. Any questions?
Come on.
Go ahead.
Verse 24, that's not something I can compare with in Joel.
Let me go ahead and read it just so I can hear it. I ain't got it.
Come on, verse 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles, until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled.
No, all right. I wouldn't put that with Joel, because Joel, the Lord, Christ is going to plead for us.
Right.
He's going to go to war and destroy for us.
Come on.
This is us getting destroyed right here.
Right.
So we don't want to pair those two together.
Come on.
You know? Anything else? Is there anything on? You got something to say? Is there anything online? Oh, somebody's there. You can pick your head up. Yeah, that's what I'm telling him. I didn't know he was even there. That was all right. Go ahead and all right, we're gonna get with that. We're gonna get the security announcements. Pass the class over to Trooper Rapanga. Give him a hand.
Come on, the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you'll find it in Numbers 18 and 21. And Malachi 3, verses 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashra. And it means 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. We got the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah. It's the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days, which is next Wednesday, December 25th, 2024, for 8 days. You'll find it in 1 Maccabees chapter 4 and verse 52 through 61. And if anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, I'll pass the class back over to Officer 500 Shamar.
With that, we're going to Amajium. All right. Give a courtesy salute to the brothers. All right, men of Israel. Mother Shabbat. Magic. Barak. Yahweh. We're going to sorrow, turn, face the sisters. Sisters rise. Men of Israel. Mother Shabbat. Magic. Barak. Yahweh Shabbat. Shimei Shah. Yajamatah. Dismiss.